Welcome to The Cloaked. We are a collective of inquiring minds seeking answers to mysteries both past and present. Join us on our journey to discover that which remains hidden. And now, on with the show.
Welcome to The Cloaked. We have another episode here. I am White Owl.
Hi, I'm Cide.
This is Hoffman.
And today we'll be talking about suicide forests, or the forest, the sea forest.
Yeah, sea of trees.
Yeah, sea of trees. It's a pretty graphic subject. Definitely, before we continue, we would like to warn you that it's a very touchy subject, and it'll get pretty graphic. So you have any kids around, you definitely might want to pause this at this moment, and then we'll continue on. But yeah, Sai, you want to start us off on the brief history of the suicide forest?
So just touching some of the points on what's out there and what you may not know yet is, so this forest in Japanese called Aokigahara, aka the suicide forest, aka the sea of trees, is on the northwestern flank of Mount Fuji in Japan. So it's on the there you go, on the west side, north side part of this mountain, Mount Fuji. Yeah, heard of it? It's there. It's big, and it won't go away. So,
it's huge.
It's big.
It is a really big, massive forest and mountain.
And some lighter points here about the forest. It's a forest that's been there for a long time. It's a forest that's been used for ceremonial purposes, for people that wanted to go camping, to explore some of the features of this forest. Some well-known features are the wind caves and the ice caves, and so a lot of tourists and a lot of hikers go there, not because of supposedly people have killed themselves there, but it's because it's also beautiful. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there, but right. It's known for its these features where a lot of trees, a lot of greenery, a lot of rivers, lots of trees, and just almost like it's out of a book. It looks like the Garden of Eden, man, something just out of a book, and it's very beautiful when you're there. And yeah, so it's known for its ice caves, its wind caves. It's also near a mountain where it's littered with volcano rocks, and so a lot of stories are when you go camping or trailing there, that the forest is almost littered with almost paper trails made out of like tape, just because people do get quite lost, and right. So they want to make sure that they get back to the mainland by using these paper trails of sorts. Let's see here. And popularity of the site, or Mount Fuji and the Sea of Trees, started with a book from this man called Shicho Matsumoto, who wrote a book about this forest called the Black Sea of Trees. However, history does not give credit to the book about acknowledging this site. It's been used for millennia, and it's been used for a variety of reasons and ways, which we will definitely get into, but that's basically what it is. It's a beautiful place, but also has its dark moments because of what it offers to certain individuals who are thinking about other things in their lives. Right. And so just keep in mind, some of these topics are very deep and graphic, so just bear with us if you're in for a treat, but also just make sure that you're ready for what we're gonna say. So I'll give it back to White Owl.
So in that note, yes, it does get pretty graphic. Obviously, people are going there for the seclusion and That's the right. privacy, because this forest is so thick with trees and
vines,
nature, algae. I mean, trees growing on top of trees.
Yeah.
So it definitely gives this vegetation definitely a money's run, because it does get pretty thick. And if you've seen any of the documentaries that are out there, we'll be definitely posting some, one from Vice, that's pretty popular. That kind of briefly touches on various parts of this subject, because you in this documentary you hear from an individual who has been serving over a decade as a safeguard to prevent people from going in there and committing suicide, and recovering bodies. There's definitely various people who have dedicated themselves to doing this. And for instance, in this documentary, it's you see the nature, you see the vegetation, and it definitely is a sight. And it is thick. You can't see. It's almost like looking at a wall of trees. Like you only can see up to a certain distance, maybe a couple of yards, and then after that, you're not able to see what's beyond that. And so then you kind of drift into the mystic and the paranormal, where people who have gone in there, to help and to recover, the bodies, and over the past couple of years, from what I understand, the number of deaths have increased, right? It definitely has more than doubled.
I don't understand.
And so, so there's like definitely a need for help. And so people who go into this forest, they definitely see a sign that says, hey, this area is not really for camping, and it also gives people a warning, to, hey, those people who are trying to go out there to commit suicide, hey, think about your family, think about your friends, think about your brother and sister, think about your parents. And so it definitely tries to warn people from going in there, because a lot of the times there's, from what I understand and from what I hear in the documentary and from what I've read in several articles, there's people sometimes don't go there necessarily to commit suicide. Some people go in there to wander off and think. And somehow some of these people end up committing suicide. And we'll go into depth with that. But there's definitely a bit of mystery with that. And you try to understand what else is going on. And so, so like just picking up from where the vegetation and the setting, it's definitely understandable why someone would go out there. There's also a bit of history with that, of I guess like the young taking their elderly and leaving them out there to
move on.
To move on,
man. It's dirt. Oh yeah.
So that's a bit of the some of the history with the forest, and so. Obviously different customs, different areas. Definitely there's a bit of a different cultural difference. And so with that, I mean, you kind of wonder, what else is there as far as, the history. And because it is so thick as far as popularity and pop culture is concerned, it's riddled with darkness and lost souls. You think about like the people who have gone and passed there over the last couple of decades, and so you go and you look at this documentary, you see the people who are going out there recovering the bodies, and these people who obviously family members. You hear. I guess, and you read, if you get to read some of these articles, that people, when they go out there, they feel like they're being followed. They occasionally see movement off the corner of their eye. Sometimes, some of these guys get lost, and the people going out there, they say, hey, you go out there, you try to use your GPS. Your GPS is not going to work.
Oh, no. Heck no, man.
Any of your electronics, not going to work. Your compass is not going to work.
It's not going to work.
And so they attribute this to the amount of iron that's in the soil.
Because the volcanic rock.
Yes, and there's a large amount. It definitely throws off your compasses, and so then you're kind of shit out of luck out there.
You better be prepared.
You better be prepared if you go out there to explore. Let's say you're not going out there for the sole purpose of what mostly people are using it. So you go out there and you try to explore. There's a good chance if you don't know your way, you're gonna get lost. So even for the in the documentary, this guy that they're following around, even he says, I've been doing this for years, and you could get easily lost. And so some of the people that starts helping and start assisting, one of the things is that they discovered is that it helps them in an easy format, that if they follow using a string or they're using tape,
tape,
that definitely helps them out with all that, and finding their way back and everything. So it's one of those things that definitely assist. What do we got here? I mean, if you go in there, what else are you going to use? Breadcrumbs.
There's nothing there. It's almost, if technology doesn't work, then you get lost, and what happens when you get lost. So, Hoffman, what you got, brother?
Talking about the iron that's in the mountains.
Yeah.
Iron is a ferric metal, so it conducts electromagnetic field. Bless you. And there are certain things that magnetic fields can do to the brain. Yeah. One of them is it can make you spin in circles. So if you're hiking, you can easily get disoriented because you're turning and you don't know which way you're going.
Oh my god.
It can pacify you completely, so you'll get this rush of euphoria, everything's okay, when things are actually starting to go bad. It can alter,
get delirious, man.
It can alter your morality.
Oh yeah.
So things can go from bad to worse in situations like that. Oddly enough, you can lose the ability to speak.
Oh, is that right?
That's so odd.
But you'll still be able to sing.
What? Where did you find that?
So how does that even work? I mean,
you can't.
Does a certain part of your brain switch off and something else starts working?
I think they work in different parts of the brain. But that some of the stuff that you guys were talking about hearing sounds in the forest. It could be other people that are lost that are just
singing,
maybe
trying to find somebody like an SOS. Hey, they're singing, Michael Jackson. Whatever. Not Michael Jackson.
It can induce panic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fear.
Maybe claustrophobia, man.
Causing you to run around in the forest, not know where the hell you're going, and getting even more lost than
Dude,
before.
Oh, you're gonna be scared here.
It can cause seizures and death.
And death?
And death.
Straight up.
Well, because it could, from what I'm reading here, what about your DNA?
Well, it can alter your DNA if it's strong enough.
Oh, it's strong enough.
Yeah. Alter your DNA,
And one of the things that I found most interesting, it can make you see ghosts.
Okay, well.
So
there's a whole thing about that, right?
And it's been this one name has been talked about in many episodes.
God damn it!
So
we won't say that.
The one that we shall not speak of.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
I mean, the one we shall not speak of.
Not until maybe 5 minutes. God, I can't believe it.
I mean, bringing some light into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is definitely something that hopefully they're taking a look into. I mean, in all honesty, I feel like there should be more preventative matters of some sorts. I don't know, some patrolmen, policemen stopping people from going in the forest.
I thought they did have some people.
They have signs.
They have signs and they have safeguards.
But maybe they're scared.
But they
how.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, if they're suicidal, you don't know if they could also harm you, right? So some of these people are not. They're not policemen. They're not carrying guns
or weapons, whatever.
There are people on patrol to talk to the people to convince them not to commit suicide. And then you see this in the Vice documentary where the guy runs into somebody who's inside a yellow tent, and he goes up to him and starts talking to him. Hey, what are you doing here?
Hey, you gonna hear yourself?
Well,
It's like a straight up question.
Not so directly, because he doesn't know for sure if he's actually camping. Because the guy had a lot of camping.
Well, I want to know what the percentage of people that go in there
are actually camping.
Camping,
right.
yeah. Like, how would you know?
Well, also, I mean, why would you go into a forest that people know that it's notorious for
everything? People
getting lost and ghosts and demons and
that name
other people and finding like.
I mean, we were young and stupid.
Huh?
We were young and stupid, and we were like,
yeah, but
well, okay, fine.
Okay, so would you go into a forest knowing that there's a high probability
that you're
gonna run into a dead body?
Oh my god!
You can never erase that.
I've seen a dead body before,
and you can never erase that.
What's that saying? Okay. Curiosity killed the cat.
Yes,
but I mean,
well, that's true, man.
Come on, if you knew,
let's go in there. Let's go.
If you knew that there was like,
so if we were going to go look for ghosts and shit. Maybe.
Why? Because they're not real?
You
never, is that what you're saying? And I'm quoting here.
You never been to the abandoned hospital or like a jail?
Real, there's a very good chance that there's something's up.
Well, let's just do it.
But, I mean, so what you're saying is you would go easily to an area, not necessarily the forest, and you would be okay with seeing bodies decomposing in a manner that was inhuman or unnatural to a natural death.
Well, I have no answer.
Which now alludes me
to be honest,
the idea of why these ghosts are there.
Well, they're like, they haven't moved on. They're just there. I mean, they're stuck in a forest that maybe they can't.
They've died a horrific death.
Damn.
Very unnatural, right?
Well, yeah.
And for all I know, the iron is giving them power to be a ghost down there.
Power in their souls.
I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, this is something that honestly, there's not a whole lot of people that are willing to do that job. Eventually, if you're okay with it, it will eventually take a toll on you.
It will.
Because you see it in the man's eyes who had been doing this for more than a decade.
But why do you think he's doing it? What's what's his prerogative? You know, what do you think though?
He probably has a good heart. He's trying to help people to prevent for them to kill themselves. I don't know his deep story, but he's obviously there to help people
at all costs.
To think about not
leaving everybody behind.
Look, you might want to rethink this. And he does talk about, having to encounter somebody that either had just about committed suicide or knowing people that have tried to commit suicide, have failed, and rethought their whole train of mind of trying to commit suicide.
Their whole existence.
Their whole existence, and reverted back to wanting to live. So
he's probably corrupt, man. Just like he's seen so many things. It's just like, how could you stay sane?
Well, not just that, how can you sleep at night?
Just knowing what you've seen and what you know and what you're thinking about is never ending thought.
The dead people you might have seen.
Not just dead people, not just alive people, but like in the middle. Ghosts and whatever. I don't know, man. You're freaking me out.
So I mean, this honestly, there's a whole lot of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you were in that position to do that, that's commitment. Because even people who work at a morgue,
I don't know how to
eventually think that career. You have to be there. You have to have a certain level of comfort in that.
I don't know. I have a cousin
that ranges into all that.
I got a cousin that does IT for IT. What do you call it? He works in morgues. Yeah. And he does like IT security for them. Like I don't know what they do. Like just like security around it. And he's just like, I see him every day. I'm like, how do you stay there? Like, well, I'm still under a roof, so that's all. Like sometimes money. That's all you need. Money just clears everything up.
What about zombies?
Well, he hasn't. Maybe he's told me, but I don't know. That's for next time. That's another story. Zombies. So imagine
the whole idea of zombies and the dead. So here's another thing. So some of these people who go out and recover the bodies, right? There's a thing where, so the people who recuperate the bodies of the dead, they're placed into like a holding area, right? And so the people who do the whole collecting, there's a belief that somebody has to stay with the dead, because if somebody doesn't stay with the dead, they have a belief that the dead will rise Not necessarily as a zombie. I mean,
but like
people
evil
are new to that
spirits,
idea,
you know.
But evil spirits, right?
Yeah.
Because they haven't been the proper burial rites haven't been performed correctly. That the belief is if it's not done and nobody is there to be with those lost souls could be then actually lost out there.
Or they're gonna become corrupt. Instead
yeah,
of like going to where they needed to
because-
go, they just lost in time and in purgatory, and they become evil as
So
shit.
there's a whole belief in the whole ideology of that. And so yes,
You got
to
something?
your question, yes, zombies. That's definitely a belief.
Yes.
What was that? You heard that?
I thought somebody
What did
was hitting up the door, dude. Like, bah! Did you hear that too?
I heard that, but I also heard,
No, am I
I
wrong?
also heard a voice at the same time that. No, I'm not. I'm serious.
I know you're
heard a
not
voice.
lying, but I just heard
As
it.
that, I kind of like. I thought that's what you were also alluding to, but
No, I turned
heard
around.
that and I heard a voice.
I turned around, like, is somebody coming from the door? The door's still shut, dude, with the bolt in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god! All right,
So let's
we move on.
continue before we figure ourselves.
We're not
anymore.
scared.
I think you guys have just been looking at this.
You got something for us, Hoppin? What do you got? You got something? You got some details?
No.
Yeah, come on. That was weird.
That was weird. That was very weird because I distinctly heard a voice.
These are freaking me out.
No,
I might have heard something, but I don't want to admit.
After we're done recording, I'm gonna go back. I mentally notated where we're at.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna rehear this, and then we'll play back, and then we'll see if there's.
You think it's a why?
I mean, I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
We'll definitely.
We'll find out.
Now, one of the questions that I had is, these people leave like their belongings behind.
In the parking lot.
So there's vehicles.
There's vehicles.
Oh my
that
god.
have not been moved for like 30 years.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Why are they
So
still there?
some
Why
of
are
those
they
vehicles are
told?
eventually recuperated by the family members.
Okay.
Some of the belongings. There's also, so once the bodies are discovered, you know, obviously the family gets notified, but people go visit where the family member committed suicide, and they leave. Obviously, they leave flowers and they leave and stuff like that. But yeah, that's also definitely
Well,
something.
what's the question? What's your inquiry?
That was like how much? There's 70 to 100 bodies discovered annually.
Yeah, about.
Right?
Yeah. Oh,
So
that's a lot.
These people, they got there somehow, and sometimes they don't go in by themselves. They go in pairs.
Right.
And the most common way that they kill themselves is hanging.
Hanging and
That's right.
drugs, drug
Hanging and
overdosing,
sleeping pills.
and sleeping pills.
Yeah. So I don't know which way I would want to go.
No, neither
Well,
way.
And with,
That's funny that they don't just jump off somewhere. They do those two.
yeah,
Maybe
true,
some,
but
the majority.
Here's
Is that the easiest way?
Here's the most disturbing piece of all that.
Uh-huh.
So in some of those, unfortunate hangings, they choose some high trees.
So they have to climb up the tree.
They have to climb up a tree and
well,
then do this.
What
I
if-
guess sometimes they go in pairs. And within the documentary and then in some of the articles that I read, there's been times where they found 4 people all next to each other.
I remember.
It was very disturbing
a
to see.
detail here.
And some of those ropes they use some ropes that are hard to cut. They use some ropes that are hard to cut. And some knots that are definitely
Fisherman's knot.
set for that type of knot.
Well, I want to bring up a detail here that I remembered that a lot of these occurrences of hangings and overdoses of sleeping pills happens around, I think, what was it, March or April, which is after the fiscal year, the end of the fiscal year in Japan. So we think about that it's not a coincidence that these people are dying in those months because maybe they're financially fucked.
Right.
And so it's not just like, it just happens to be that it's the end of the fiscal year and they're killing themselves right after that. It could be that, I mean, that's a dark time. Like, people know that, oh shit, it's March and April.
So again, we go back and revisit the cultural aspect. because there's a lot of honor.
That's right.
And how
they won't disclose, like I'm poor now, so they're not gonna say to
So there again, it goes back to the cultural differences that there is a lot of honor at stake. That you don't want to disgrace your family.
Oh yeah.
Because either you lost a lot of money or you didn't do so well in school. There's definitely a rise in the amount of youth that are committing suicide.
The more it gets known, the more it's going to be used.
and so it's almost like they go and they do this in order not to dishonor. But honestly, I can't say what I understand from all that, because it's so, to me, I can't place myself in that. You know what I mean? And so I'm not in that situation to be able to like, okay, I can see why. Again, the cultural aspect and the differences. It's tough. I mean, if that's the peak, that's definitely, one could say that's definitely the concrete reason as to why so many deaths occur around that time. And
that's right. And a lot of things happen. I mean, money. It controls people, man, and so it controls your attitude about the world, about yourself, ultimately about your existence. Like, is money really? Am I working just for money? And like, what does money do for you? Buys a house, buys you cars, buys you drinks and food. If you don't have that, especially in Japan, where the cultural norm is being very it's with honor and respect.
Right.
That if you lose what gives you honor and respect, then what else do you have in there? And that's probably all they have. All they care about is honor and respect.
Yeah.
And
social status.
Social status.
That's it. And America's a little bit more forgiving, but in Japan, it's we're talking about it.
I mean, yeah, definitely. So then you go into the idea of, okay, so what is Japan doing to fight against this? And so we talked about some of the barriers with the guides and the protective
the signs and all that.
Signs. But the monks have also put out throughout the forest various altars.
Oh, really?
In order to combat the bad spirits and the demons that may be out in the forest. Some rituals are definitely performed out there, and so it's not something that. What are you doing?
Oh no!
It's definitely not something that is.
Oh my God.
That hopefully is definitely helping people.
No, you got to see it. Look into that screen.
I did not want to see that. That is pretty gross.
Did your voice just crack?
Yes. I was like, oh no!
I don't want to do it.
Hoffman over here showing us some very graphic.
Jesus Christ!
No, it's a fact.
I mean, it's pretty graphic.
It's a fact, man.
It's not something that.
It's not playing around.
It's not for
man.
anyone, and
No.
it's not a joke. It's quite serious because.
It's quite serious.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's really serious. To the extreme.
To go and clean up after that, it is a job that takes a lot out of a person.
What was
you
that?
You think you could do that in one day? You think you can go out there?
I wouldn't know. I'm cool here in. Can we say where we're at? Canada here.
We're Canadian.
Talking about.
Okay.
Shout out to my Canadian friends.
Yeah, right. We love you very much. Send us boots and what else do they have over there?
They have stronger beer.
They have stronger beer?
Yeah.
Which one is? What's that? Beer. The Canadian Blue or what's that one?
Canadian Moose.
Canadian.
I think
that's
so.
what it's called.
I believe that's what it's called.
And what else do they have? Cold weather.
Shout out to Brazil.
Brazil, baby. And what else? What's next to Brazil? South America. No, they're not South America. Right?
Colombia.
Colombia. Colombia.
I mean,
shout out to hey.
I gotta say it right.
And all our people in Antarctica, we love you.
There's like two.
There's two people there, and one of them's listening to us.
Shameless plug.
But I mean, there's a lot that's being done. But I mean, up to what point can you say this is enough?
How would you even prevent that? Like, how? There's no way.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like sometimes like it's systematically against individuals.
It's like family pressure, culture pressure, systematic pressure, government pressure. Like, contribute or die. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And kill yourself.
Well,
but that's not like it is America. So that's why we don't have that streamlined understanding of getting to that point where you're just like, you know what point.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing. Some of the people that go out there, they also leave curses Did you read that part?
No.
There's people actually write out curses, or they will perform a ritual with a doll. And so there's also a belief that people who are consistently going out there into this forest are cursing the world.
Oh, okay.
For what they're doing, what they're obviously succumb to do, because they feel like the pressures of the world, and it goes back to what you were saying, and so they curse the world that they come from, and it's definitely one of those things that it's pretty tough. I mean, they throw out curses. I mean, is this something that also builds upon the earth, or within that area, or that general, especially within this forest? So it's pretty hard to
tell us about that chart, man.
So Hoffman here has found a scientific chart.
What is it like? Just give us a quick.
It's giving stats on suicides per 100,000 in population for Japan, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, and the United States. And by far, I'm moving to the Netherlands because they are chill as fuck.
Oh yeah,
they have.
From what I understand.
Yeah, well, they have drugs.
They have drugs, that's them.
The good stuff.
But compared to everyone else, recently Japan has had a huge spike in suicides. It started in the late 90s on up.
Yeah, and it started just increasing from there.
Well, initially they were pretty high, and they sort of leveled out, and now they're about 20 suicides per 100,000.
20 suicides per 100,000.
100,000.
Is that?
I mean, how
is
many
that good?
is the population?
Is that low? I mean, I don't know.
I think it's pretty high, actually.
Compared to other countries, it's pretty high.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because the United States around the same time, they're at about 11, 12 per 100,000. 11
or per year? Oh no, per 100,000. So there's, oh my God. So how many is that?
I mean,
300 million people. Damn.
I don't think your math is
No, not 300 million. We're made up of 300 million people. So you got 100,000, right?
That's a lot of people.
That's a couple hundred.
I mean, that's.
Ah, my God, that's not
overwhelmingly a lot.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's not normal.
It's almost double what the United States. And they're a smaller country.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, by a lot.
I mean, it's just one of those things, man. I mean, so we also allude to, going back to what we're saying about the curses.
Okay,
let's talk about that. They go out there and they commit suicide.
Wait, why are they doing that? Why are they cursing? What's their objective?
They're very upset of what has occurred.
Like the world, they're cursing not just the forest, but the world itself. I want the world to burn because it's not a nice place to be.
And so they throw a curse. They do some kind of a cursing process with the doll.
Cursing process.
I mean, I don't know what to call it.
A
ritual.
A ritual, man.
They throw this ritual out there, and they're cursing the world and the people. And so you think about it. There, a bunch of people are doing this within one area, one specific area. So what does that? So what does that say? Does all that negativity just stay there?
That's what I'm saying. It builds up.
It builds up.
And opens, portals from another world to this world, because then I suppose you got the ghosts, and we got to talk about what those ghosts are called.
We'll start needing to do it.
We'll give you that secret at the end of the podcast.
It definitely, this whole negativity feeds to the idea that also demons roam the forest.
And they corrupt the humans
definitely
corrupting the mind.
Because so here's the other thing. The other thing that I read and that I heard while listening and looking into these documentaries. So some of the people that go out there and they go help, and some of the monks that go out there and help, they hear voices.
Oh.
Voices calling for them to either enter the forest, to go deeper into the forest.
Oh my God!
And then they start having these negative thoughts. Then they start hearing more voices. Some of these voices tell them to commit suicide, to kill themselves.
Oh my God!
And so some of these, there's an interview done by I believe it's Japan Times, that they interviewed a monk. The monk his name is Kiyomo Fukio. I may be saying that.
That sounds right.
Very wrong, but so he states that while he was out there putting up an altar, he was fixing it up. He heard some voices calling him, and from what he was hearing, they were calling him to commit suicide. And so, but as he states, he was able to hear these voices pretty clearly. Again, nobody around during this time, but he was definitely able to hear somebody speaking to him directly.
Clearly.
Yeah. And so it's not like somebody's also in the forest yelling or singing, as
something
said that, some
like
people
a whisper, man.
Yeah,
like
And so the fact that he was able to hear it clearly, that's like another thing, right?
Well,
and so. And then you hear about the people that are going out there, it's people that are being interviewed, and the documentary, and you hear about people seeing other people out there,
like
dark shadows.
Yeah.
They see somebody walking, and in the documentary,
imagine at
the
night.
Vice documentary. If anybody sees the Vice documentary or has seen the Vice documentary, the guy that's there. He's talking to the individual on I believe he's the person behind the camera, or possibly another producer that's there. There might be 3 people out there, but he's talking to him, and then he just stops. He stops in mid-sentence, and he's staring off deep into the forest, and he says, "Oh, I thought I saw somebody. I thought I saw a shadow or something." And he doesn't finish saying anything, and he just turns and he starts walking the other way. So I'm like, did he see something? And then freaked him out, and he said, "I'm just going the other way now," because they were heading a certain direction, and the direction that they were heading, and he stops and he picks up something that he finds on the floor. I believe it was probably a pocket mirror, I believe, or something like that. And he's talking to the producer or the cameraman, and he's talking to them. About like, hey, look, this is obviously a mirror, belongs to a woman. There's a bag that's over there. It's a woman's bag. There's this over here that's also a woman's piece of clothing or whatever. And so he's talking about that, and all of a sudden he just stops mid-sentence, and he stops so instantly that you're like, okay, he saw somebody. So it's like whenever you're having a conversation with somebody, and they see a friend or they see somebody, and it's that type of thing. Like, they definitely saw somebody or something.
They weren't mistaken.
They weren't mistaken.
I mean, you would have kept them like, hey, what's going on? But
exactly.
Just like
Like,
silence. You're like, what the hell's over there?
I kind of wanted the cameraman to turn to see what he was looking at, because I mean, obviously, if there's footage of maybe there's somebody out there, you should probably try to see if they can help them out if actually it's a person. But it's one of those things like, okay, so what was going on, so with all that, you also get to hear about people's, not necessarily encounters, it's more like people who are out there in the forest, whether they're helping out or not, or just within the general area, they hear these horrendous screams in the forest, and you're like, so there's some recordings also online and some video of people who find or see ghosts, or they're out there in the forest and they're recording. But they definitely hear these like very horrifying screams, like bloody murder screams. And so they, I mean, within the documentary, they also interview somebody who talks about these screams. And if you're able to find them on whether it be on YouTube or some other video,
or whatever,
you definitely get to hear what they're experiencing when they're out there, and these screamings are horrifying. And so in one documented experience, this one person, his report is that he heard this unnatural screams. He's a writer for the Japan Times, and he's going out there to the forest to experience.
Yeah.
And see what was going on. So he's writing an expose on it, and so he follows the noise.
Oh no!
He follows the noise into the woods, and I'm reading this, and I'm like, dude,
don't do it. No, what he does?
And so he goes into the woods, and he's trying to find where this noise is coming from, and the noise takes him to this tree, and he ends up finding a person who had committed suicide days ago.
Oh
his body was already decomposing already.
Oh my god!
And so clearly, I mean, this wasn't the person obviously screaming, but he tracked the screamings to within that area, and that he found his body. So, I mean, what do you think happened? You would think he heard ghosts or demons?
Maybe an echo of his last breath. Like, I mean, maybe he didn't kill himself right when he found the body. The residual, like it stays there. Like, I mean, if we're talking about noises and anything can happen, and so maybe that came from his last maybe the spirit found that somebody was there.
Like that moment in history.
Yeah, like I'm like, hey, this is what happened here at this tree, and I maybe that scream led to it was purposeful for that scream.
Yeah,
he was man enough to find where that tree was, where he found the body.
So
it could be something.
Talking about that, about a moment in history and the forest recording that.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's also the belief that certain stones are able to record.
I've heard about that.
Certain things in history. I mean, it's just like a vinyl.
Yeah.
You think about it, it's just like a vinyl. Nature is like that. So when Hoffman talked about the iron, iron in the soil.
That's right.
So if there's so much iron in the soil that it confuses your compass.
Yeah.
It throws off your GPS.
Mm-hmm.
It throws off your body. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mentality.
Your attitude, your thoughts,
chemistry.
It makes you disoriented, sick.
Exactly.
Speechless.
Yeah. And so with all that going on, and then this unfortunate event. I mean, think about it. The iron, the land is recording this event. So then, is this? Or what people who are going out there recording this paranormal experience?
How does it trigger though? So say the stones do capture those moments in time.
Yeah.
In what way? How would history come out of the right? Because apparently it's doing it right now. Like what is it?
How does that play?
You have to do a ritual, and then you can. I mean, something's gotta. What triggers it? That's what I'm saying.
So
the hypothetical speaking.
It's hard to kind of state what actually triggers the residual to playback.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're freaking me out.
Because from what I understand, and from what other paranormal researchers have explained, people have tried to track down: is it the moment in time, the date?
Oh, okay.
If you think about it, so many deaths have occurred there. You're seeing, 3 years ago on this day, on this hour, this person, committed suicide. So are we seeing the playback of that event that happened 3 years ago every year on that time frame? Or is it something that just plays constantly because of the amount of energy that is amplified within that area? So
it could be,
it could be many things. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint
exactly what
residual.
It is.
But when you see it, you know what it is, because when it's something residual, you can interact with the ghost.
It's residual. It's like the leftovers of that energy.
Yeah.
Like, how do you
exactly? And it just plays back constantly, whether it be constantly or yearly or
periodic
monthly,
or whatever.
Yeah. So there's just a lot to think about when it comes to that, and it's pretty hard to pinpoint with some.
But it does happen.
But it does happen, of course. And so with the recording of what's going on in history and the moment in time and the amount of energy that gets sucked into nature with it, whether it be the trees, the iron, or limestone or whatever it may be, you know, that definitely it gets recorded within that. And so my thing is like, when you have so much of these unfortunate events occurring within this area, that's a lot of energy.
Yes.
It's not great energy or good energy or positive.
It's negative.
Bad, very bad energy.
And it's brooding
negative
in there. It's brooding. It's in a cauldron,
Yes.
Which is the forest, and it's almost like a metaphor. Like the forest is so thick that this energy never goes away. It stays there because
it's captured.
It's captured, and that's
how do you release such bad energy?
You have to bless the forest, man. I don't think. I mean,
think so. Yeah.
By some way. I mean, you can't destroy the forest. The energy is gonna be there. You can't destroy a ghost with a bomb, or whatever. You have to fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
So negative energy, we have to fight it with positive energy. And so if you have these people cursing the forest, then we're gonna have to pray for the forest. We had to know that we're here for the forest. Maybe the forest doesn't want to be like that, but it's been corrupt by all these suicides and demons and negative energy and shamanistic rituals and all that.
Right.
So the only way we can combat that is with doing good for the forest. Doing good for the forest. Even just not even talking about the forest, just being good to ourselves, just releasing good energy to the earth.
Right.
And let that code it as a barrier of good instead of just
that. Obviously, that would be the one
way. That's just one
to
way.
Clean the forest out of this bad energy.
Pray for the forest,
and that's kind of what the monks were trying to do by leaving these altars throughout the forest to combat the negative energy in a positive spiritual manner.
That's right.
And so you have these. You have all these people's experiences from various people who, whether they are recording out there for paranormal or they're out there recovering bodies, they're definitely people having this experience with ghosts. And so now we go into what the people call the ghost.
Y'all bring it up.
I mean,
hop in.
I mean, it's
you give it up, man.
Coincidental and
you've been paying attention.
And again, bringing a little bit of light into the subject matter.
A little humor here.
A little humor. For those who have been keeping track of our episodes, again, if you can go back to the Delatov incident,
you'll figure it out. You don't figure it out now, then go back to that episode.
The time travel ones. Go back into the other episodes and definitely tune into those, and you'll understand the inside of this.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So when I read this, I had to reread it again. I honestly did. So
do I have it
and this is the other thing. Am I even pronouncing this right?
Yeah, you are, man. I have it right here. Say it, I'll correct it.
So as I'm reading, what they call ghost, and I was like, is this traditional? Of
course.
And again, it's a forest. Again.
So just say it, bro.
So they call him Yuri.
Oh my.
You just had to bring it
fucking Yuri. Don't take our word for it. Go online and you'll figure it out. Ghost of the dead.
It's all connected.
It's Yuri. How's it come back to the?
I don't know. And what's funny is
Yuri, bro.
What's funny is I was reading it right and reading what these traditions of what they call certain type of ghosts, because there's titles specifically named to certain type of ghosts that
the jinn, they got jinns and all this crap.
Well, depending on the format of how, if they committed suicide, if this was like a vengeful ghost, if this was a ghost that had regrets, each type of ghost has a type of name.
Oh, right? Yeah.
But generally, what they're calling these ghosts in this woods, they're called Yuri.
They're Yuri.
So
Jesus Christ.
What's going on?
There's
they have alphabetical.
They have like different names for different types of ghosts.
Yeah,
yes, they do.
C's and D's and E's.
There's a lot.
Do they have Yuri?
Go
down. Do they have that? Go down. You have to find it. The only one with a Y. No, go down.
No, there's probably more than one with a Y.
There's probably one more than. There's definitely one more than a Y. There's definitely different types of.
Yeah, right there in the bottom, dude. Look.
Yuri.
Yo, man, what is it? Ghost.
Ghost with more Western scent.
See, what does that even mean?
Hmm.
What does that mean? Like,
what? Let me see. Oh. You read it out? Just read that definition.
what is that?
Are figures of Japanese folklore analogous to Western legends of ghosts. The name consists of two kanji and yu, meaning fate or dim, and ri, meaning soul. Alternative names are bori, which is ruined or departed spirit, suyuri, meaning dead spirit, or more emphasizing yokai or bokeh, obake.
Yeah.
Obake.
Yeah.
Like their Chinese and Western counterparts, they are spirits kept from peace in the afterlife.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've been talking about this whole time.
Definitely what we've been talking about. So that's definitely what's going on in this forest. I mean, damn, that's eerie. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a terrifying kind of experience. But I mean, it goes back to like even so the people we always go back to the people who are out there helping out and guiding and all that. The thing is here is that some of these people are not just experiencing sightings or hearing voices or the screams. Some of these people who use tape to guide themselves back have been experiencing a bit of a I don't know if it's like a prank within the ghost, or I don't know what it is. But so as some of these people are coming back, trying to come back out of the forest from finding, the bodies and, trying to find if there's people out there, they find that their tape gets cut. And here's the other thing. So the tape gets cut. They have missing pieces of tape. So it's kind of hard to find their way back. So it's not being just cut from one tree to tree. It's being ripped off and somebody's taking them. Like taking the pieces of tape. So then these people can't find their way out. And so some of these people get lost. And in one article, this woman who was out there helping out, she goes out there to assist, and she's using tape. And she finds that when she's coming back, she finds that her tape has been cut, and she's missing pieces of tape. She's missing her fucking tape. But how does she go out? Like, if this is her way out, this is her breadcrumbs leading her back out. She's definitely doesn't want to get stuck out there.
No.
So
not at all.
She, in this article, she freaks out obviously, and she tries to get back out, and she gets lost for a good while. She finally is able to manage to find her way out of the forest. Obviously not in the same area that she had last been seen, but she finds her way out. You definitely don't want to get lost in there, especially even people who are seasoned hikers to assist or whatever that go into that forest. They warn you not to go in there, especially if you don't know, your way out. With this forest, I mean, again, if you watch the documentary or any of the documentaries or see any of the pictures, those forests is pretty thick. You can get easily lost. You won't be able to see the side of the road. I mean,
why go in and then in the first place, man? Just don't do it.
You go in there, you can't see. Maybe it starts getting thick. Like I would say about 7-8 yards. You won't be able to really see like too far.
It's that bad.
It's that bad. So yeah, I mean, this is something that's like, if you go in there, you better have somebody else also making sure that you're in there.
Yeah.
And able to help you out. But I mean, this definitely, again, it's definitely something. Bless you. We have here a conspiracy dog.
I prefer the cat.
All right, conspiracy cat's running around somewhere. We'll call him Detective Dog.
There you go.
So Detective Dog over here sneezing. So we have again, this is a very popular and very well known subject matter.
Yeah, and we're just
suicide forest.
Giving you some of the facts and
I mean, we're giving you some bit of information. Again, you can definitely look up the documentaries. There's also a movie that was somewhat recently done called The Forest. That's loosely based on the suicide forest, or it is based on the suicide forest, right? To a certain aspect of it, obviously. And so there's also other popular TV shows that have gone to investigate suicide forests. One being Destination Truth. That definitely went out there and investigated. They've captured what appears to be a spirit or a ghost. You could definitely find that one online. We'll definitely post that as well. And so, let's see. Anything else you guys want to add, or anything else you found?
No, I mean, to me, we provided a lot. And it was, when I started researching this topic, it's very touchy to me. Because I think life is very precious, and if some people can't help it, I feel bad for them. But all we can do is just, this forest is really cursed. We gotta pray for the forest. We gotta just, everybody who's listening, just send positive vibes every day that you're alive. That's the only way we're gonna get through this maze of hate here.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I have nothing, man. That is, I feel bad. That this forest could be very beautiful, but this one is quite unique. So I don't know. Yeah. So that's all I got to say right now.
Hoffman?
Guys, if you guys are feeling down, reach out to someone, talk to someone. Just don't let this stuff pent up. I mean, if you're going through something, let someone know. I mean, we're all together in this life,
Yeah, exactly.
We're all one.
That's right.
I mean, definitely reach out to somebody. There's always definitely somebody who
give hugs.
Somebody that would speak with you.
Hug a pet, man. Hug your family.
I have several pets. Yeah. I mean,
you can't go wrong with that.
Can never go wrong with a good dog.
That's why you always got a smile on your face, man.
Peanut butter.
The peanut butter. That's what I'm talking about.
There's always a good dog that needs adoption.
There's always another way.
I have 2.
You have 2 now?
I still have 2 left.
Oh, nice. How many did you sell already? Did you sell or just?
I sold 2, but they were to pay off shots.
Oh.
Okay.
I was in the hole for like $700.
Damn.
Man, that's a lot of money.
Well.
I mean, pets, man, they're great.
Yeah, pets are good.
Again, if you guys are feeling a little down and feel like you need to reach out to talk to somebody, go ahead, reach out to talk to somebody. I guarantee that somebody will definitely talk to you. Reach out to us. I mean, you could talk to us online. I mean, definitely you have questions.
We're all positive here, baby.
Answers.
We're all brothers and sisters here.
Yeah, I mean, reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And that number is 1-800-273-8255. Of course, that's in the U.S., but I mean, hopefully, if you live outside the U.S., you can definitely find help. I mean, there's definitely plenty of resources out there that can assist you, and hopefully, you do get assistance and reach out to somebody. I mean, there's people out there. You may be going through a tough time, and things may seem like it's an uphill battle, but there's definitely a good over the rainbow type of thing.
There you go.
Beyond that, and it's tough, and hopefully it's just tough for a little bit, but hopefully you can overcome that. And again, if you're feeling blue, just reach out to somebody. And there's always somebody out there that can listen to what you have to say, and there's people out there again willing to help. So don't be afraid. Reach out. On that note, hey, anybody got a good joke?
Let me see. What's up? I thought I had one.
My stomach hurts.
Oh.
The dysteria?
Your what?
I said my stomach hurts.
Oh, your stomach hurts. I got one joke. It's a math joke.
Poops?
No. We'll save it for another time.
All right, you guys stay safe. Again, reach out if you need help. I thought I think it was a dog. This time it was a dog, right?
Oh, I heard it from over there.
He's just like, dude, no.
We'll replay what we thought,
okay.
and then we'll hear.
Right.
Again, if we found anything, it was on minute 20. If anybody wants to go back and
oh my
listen.
God, let's hear it right now.
We'll definitely listen to this right now. Again,
okay.
It is up on Facebook and on Twitter. I think hopefully you can keep your ear to the next episode. We'll definitely. The next episode is going to be a lot interesting. It's going to be really good.
It's going to be really good, man.
You gotta subscribe.
You gotta subscribe, man.
It is up on iTunes.
Give us those likes, you know what I'm saying?
Give us those likes and rate us, because that makes it easier for you guys to find us, and makes it other people to find us much easier.
We're here for you, baby, not for us.
I don't even know what that means.
We're here for them. We're here for.
Oh, okay, yeah. Definitely here for you.
We don't make any money. We're just.
And if you have any other subjects,
we enjoy doing this.
Yeah, definitely. And again, if we have any other subjects you guys want to talk about or hear or have anything new, definitely hit us up on Facebook and on Twitter.
Yes,
again,
sir.
Facebook is The Cloaked Podcast, and on Twitter is The Cloaked_. And hopefully we'll keep in touch. Until next time. Bye.